Girl, I ain't sure. If I should even be on this camera. Okay? Excuse me. We shouldn't. Maybe later. Okay. Um, what am I gonna say? Girl, I've been trying to since my D baby on the bus now, I've been trying to catch her getting on the bus. I've been missing it every single day. And then today I got to see it, but girl, it was still dark outside. I said, this motherfucking bus look, I about to go to hell. Okay? That bus looked like it about to go to hell. It just looked all dark outside. And then when it pulled off, all the lights went off. It was pitch black on the bus. I'm like, why is the kids on the bus is pitch black? There ain't no damn light on the bus or nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because usually I thought that when we was younger and the bus picked us up and it was still dark outside, I thought they had like lights running through the bus, but it was no lights in there. Nothing. It was pitch black. I seen one of them little kids. It was a little kid, probably like 3 seats behind her. I could see a phone screen. Okay, the kid had a phone screen or whatever, but that's all you could see on the bus. And I'm like, oh my goodness, that looks scary. I always got something smart to say. So, all right. Okay. I just ordered me something from the place, but I'm like, I'm never getting that again. I got Taco John's when I was on the road trip, and it was good. I think because I was starving or something like this. It was good. It was really good. I'm like, yeah, this is good. A minute ago, because nothing else was open, and I had to taste like meat. Like, I don't know. I've been having a taste for taco meat and potatoes, and and I was hoping that and I seen that they was open already, and I was hoping that they had something with like eggs, like hash browns, eggs, and taco meat, but they didn't. But I settled for the burrito, and when I'm eating the burrito, because like I said, if these are like smart cities, these people be knowing already. They be like lining shit up. You know what I'm saying? They be lining stuff up, dude. I really believe that. But after I ate it, I'm like, ugh. Like when how some people's, especially like food chain restaurants, how their sour cream can taste kind of slick and kind of slimy. It's not creamy, but it can taste kind of like greasy or something like this. And I'm like, never again. Okay. And there was a pretty dark skinned, girl there working or whatever. And she's like, yeah, what you want? And da da da. And then when I looked at her, I just felt something. I'm starting to notice sometimes when I see these people, like I heard the song First Love when I pulled up to the house. So when I was eating it, I'm like, ugh, this kind of tastes like a kind of slimy or whatever. It's like, I was just thinking about spit. And I'm like, ugh. And then after I heard First Love, then the song, Yeah, That's It came on. So, that's why I don't know if like the city is starting to come up to life in another kind of way. There could be, like I said, there could be a masculine that's in this city, came to this city or from this city, or been here already in the background for a long time. And like these little snide things or these little slick things, that's going on. Yeah. Because it's just like, imagine waking up and realizing that every single person around you was plotting on you. You thought you had family. You thought you loved your family. You thought whatever. You thought you loved your children or something. And you wake up and you realize nothing is the same. Everything has migrated, and you're the only thing that's the same. I change if not, right? You're the only thing that changes or whatever. Okay. I was hearing people. I'm just gonna do a quick rundown, and then we're gonna do a reading in the house. But I'm getting this energy of like somebody's like, I understand why people, you know, why people be acting like or pretending like they're being gang stalked and stuff like this or whatever. Because I was like, in this, when I woke up this rising, I'm like, I heard something like in my head. I was like, no, because I just want to make sure. I like to listen to other people that do what I do, them, but also to examine to see who's on my server, because that's my intel. That's my, just like a radio station. People have to do things to get their music played, and then the music being played in turn makes them money. You get what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Like on the radio player, you know, even vintage or old fashioned models, some people will pay more or separate themselves to listening to something, or people might say, oh, it's old and played out, but a lot of people might invest, right? When the trend is going this way or a trend is over, there's always an original source to something, right? And I was just thinking like, and a lot of people be on the trend, but those are usually people that their mindset is kind of like they follow, right? They don't think with their own mind, or they could, but that just might be what they like, okay? And then there's other people that still like, nah, I'm gonna gravitate towards some real shit, and they will pay extra to invest or watch or listen to or something like that because of something like this, okay? So whatever is in my DNA, I know about the quality. It's not even like, oh, YouTube, you know, they're just doing this or something. No, I know about quality. If I can't give you, for me, if I can't give you quality, I can't afford to dress myself up. I can't afford to da 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 da. The quality is in the real, true gut source, giving it to you almost from my soul messages, not playing with you, not sugarcoating it, not being on no bullshit, not wasting nobody's time. Hopefully, right? So keeping it as real as possible. That for me, I may not be able to dress fancy and have a nice backdrop for y'all or something like this, but it's in what I'm saying. I really want you to hear what I'm saying. It ain't got nothing to do with what I look like, right? Because then that can in turn, when it comes to entertainment, that's important. What you look like is important, right? A podcast is what somebody is saying. It's not really what you look like that they're coming there for, right? Okay, so uh see, I'm starting to get, it probably got me a little, so I'm kind of jumping around more. So so you can't fool me on what's being provided in my messages, okay? Let's forget that I ever said a celebrity name, but that's another thing. That's not why I say their names, because I was saying in my head earlier, you know, am I, you know, what is it? I said, okay, so people do stuff for, some people do stuff for attention, and some people are doing something to bring awareness, okay? And I feel like that's two different things, okay? You know, uh, yes, I'm supposed to be high ranking doing something else, like on a higher level right now, but, you know, somebody is purposely trying to knock me back to bring awareness, you know, because again, when you come in on awareness, it's like, you don't want to come in on fame, you don't want, then we'll make you be a poster child or some type of awareness for, I don't want to be that either. I'm not going to be that either. You're not going to categorize where I'm going. You understand? So it's kind of like a 3-for-1, actually, what I'm doing here. But there's nobody that can't tell me when somebody is being so-called entertained, or somebody is, something is curious, or there's certain key things about what I do and what I talk about, or just even it being more on a personal level, or gearing something towards like a straight and trying to stay on a straight and narrow path with something. It makes people feel like they're on that with you, and they want to know more about that. They didn't experience this. They're watching you because they feel like, yeah, you did experience that. This is entertain, you know, this is real or something. You know, people want to see real shit. This is why a lot of these people, they may not be able, you might be on YouTube, you might be getting views on YouTube, but I guarantee you, when you're dressed up and you have your nice backdrop and things like this, but if you have a, let's say you have a nice backdrop just for your YouTube videos, but the rest of your house is messy, and somebody want to try to pick on you, and they say, yeah, that bitch, look at that perfect backdrop, but I bet you her rest her mouth, her house look messy or whatever. And if they do find out that the rest of your house is messy, I guarantee you, you're getting more views because it's real, it's sneaky, it's not it's what do they call it, like with Adam and Eve. Damn, I'm trying to think about the right word. Ah, it's a word for it, okay? Um, like forbidden. It's a word. It's another word for forbidden. All right. I think it starts with an S, and I'm trying to search for this word, but we're not gonna find it right now. Um, but it's another word that I'm looking for. Um, so I know, as much as like I'm dressing it up, I'm putting in tags and stuff, not even on that level, just the core energy of what I'm doing alone. And maybe even the fact that if there's more people that I think that's on this grid, thousands, millions of people on this grid, that they didn't find out, or they were scared to, or they didn't have the resources to, or they thought it best to just go on with the thing and not open up their mouth or something. The dialect alone, or how many people, if this was some type of stealth warfare that was done here on a lot of people, excuse me, some people may not have made it that far to gang stalking. Somebody could have approached them and they took the deal right away. Or some people could have felt watched and then they felt at the helm of something and said, please, God. But they don't know what God or what energy was around them, and they accepted something in so they didn't have to go that far, right? But just that alone, there's no fucking way. You get what I'm saying? All right. So it's not like I'm somebody that's like a fan of these people and I'm like, oh, I was just at this concert or something and I'm talking about it like that. No, I'm talking about I'm pulling on a different something that a lot of people, not the way that everybody else is talking about celebrities, right? And so even when it's more personal, or it's more straight to the point, or straight to the fact, right? Or like this is the ground roots of something before celebrity, right? So like I said, there's no way that you telling me that my channel is at 6,000 subscribers. It just ain't. And I done seen girls come. I listen to other people because it's good when you doing something like this, talking out, and you don't really have friends, or you're not at functions, or you're not, entertaining and, going around in circles and, bringing your cause to the, if you're speaking online like this, it's important to maybe, so you don't get too wrapped up in your own little way or your own little world, to maybe hear what other people have to say. What currently are other people pulling on in their energy or something? Because I'm not saying that none of these people is really pulling on something. It's just, do you know what the fuck it is? Okay, so you know what I'm saying? So it would be just like, even though I don't think this is athletics, but I think that me examining it from this point is letting me think that no, these people do see it as athletics. They see this is like an athletic competition or something like this. I'm not in it because I don't want to. I'm just doing it, right? But these people do see it, as some type of competition. Okay, so it's more about evaluation. All right. If you're a news anchor and you only watch yourself on the news, everything you want to hear about the news is coming from yourself. That don't make you want to hear what other people have to say about the news, right? I know we have where they've showed those clips where news anchors say the same thing. It's just a different saying the same exact thing, the same almost to the word, to the T. Okay, but do you get what I'm saying? To know what other people that's doing the craft that you're doing, not to copy them, but where, kind of like where you at, to know you not going crazy, or you just only listen to yourself and care about what you have to say and see it this way. It's important to, see other people's point of view. Okay, so, and then also for me in the back end, or this is the front end, for me, if I am a if I was like a tri-bred or something, and I have cyborg energy, and somebody shut cyborg energy for they can utilize it for their own good, and they took all of my particular tools and gifts and skills and different things that God tweaked just for me, because I was going to have to go through this, and I would be the one that would be looked at as not the poster child, but the chosen one. Not ones, but the one. All right. I don't agree with these people having this, especially if this is some man that could have been with me, but you pretend to be with me, and then when you try to leave me, you thought you could take me with you. Nah. You know what I'm saying? Instead of upgrading me, you wanted to clone me and then work with that, and then make it just like me. Yeah, no, I don't agree with that, because that's my fucking property, and I don't need no prenup, right? I don't need no prenup. Kind of chilly a little bit. I don't need no prenup to tell you that you can't take pieces of me with you when you call yourself leaving me. I don't respect a corporation or a company, right? This could also be some companies or like teams sign up for these jobs. They're supposed to take care of. They talk about in their thing, oh, we taking care of the whole family, the wife and children and stuff. That's not true. You exploit information about that woman that she don't even have, because you want to put her in a class or in some type of ranking, a lower ranking. All right. And then you want to, but it's just like, this time you fucked up, because I am those things that I'm saying I am. You see what I'm saying? This is somebody discarding for whatever, and things work out in mysterious ways. Okay. So it's making me think like, no, you did something weird and did something with the man and the worker and the children. Right. And then again, I noticed Teamsters, their logo has 2 horses on it. And I think they might be facing away from each other, or facing to each other, or facing away each other. But it made me think about some of these men and this gay agenda with a lot of these men and things like this. Okay. You know what they use them for their energy, and then they try to do maybe with a masculine or a version of this masculine in somebody's situation, and then they didn't want, the masculine didn't want okay, they didn't want people to look to the mother. It's a storyline about this, like somebody was in love with somebody or whatever, or a child or something, but when and how the child thinks or views something, or their intel, okay, or the way that they, whatever, okay, nurtured them, or was a queen of cups to them, or whatever, okay, because a lot of this shit that's wrapped in us, they're giving access to your partner to have access to parts of you that you haven't even evaluated yet, or you haven't even experienced yet, okay, is how I'm looking at this, right? And so, whew, so I was hearing somebody to eliminate me as the mother, or you as the mother, because they knew when people actually got a whiff, yeah, I got these kids, yeah, I'm a single dad, pity me, the mother was on drugs and everything. They knew that there's still life or something in the mother, and that if somebody else got a whiff of the mother or wanted to procreate with the mother or something like this, that would be a problem for this person. So somebody could have spread these children and, whatever, but it could have been right, and they just didn't want nobody to get, because they wanted to be, but no, some of this, it was just when they leave you, when they plan to leave you in 20 years or 10 years, there's nothing for you to grab onto. There's nobody that will believe your story. There's nobody that will say, well, damn, I got money, and if this bitch is loaded like that, or this is what's in her, I want a baby with her, and then I know how, I got people that I could get to go to court to represent. I got a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? It's something like this, okay? Like I can make moves around this bitch too, So that's why I was thinking that they get these women like fish, all the eggs, all the everything, because you could be a woman with that might be maybe older. I think they try to keep us till we 40 or something like this. Maybe, some people be having a baby at like 46 and stuff like this, a little bit older. Like I said, I think I call them Saracens, but they're not Saracens, but Sarah had that baby at 81. God was able to have her. Not every woman in the world, but for some reason, Sarah. Okay. So if your mother was a Sarah, now she may not be named Sarah, But whatever you came from could be somebody that was somebody that had a baby at a young age. I mean, at an old ass age, and you could be that child. All right, or I could be that child, right? And when we read that storyline in the Bible, she's joking like, I'm not having no baby or whatever. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and read it probably today and get a new, bring the energy in fresh. But I don't know because I can only remember when God said, I'm gonna have you do this, and then she's like, oh my goodness, but I don't remember if they said, oh my God, I'm with child. I don't remember that part of the story. Okay, so I'm only remembering like the first part. No, I would have to hear it, because if the child was being produced in some type of supernatural way, that's something else too. But she had whatever it took in her body or whatever to be able to produce this child. Okay, so I think, what else would we talk about? Okay, so that's why I was saying, and with that union, I think there's a wheel on that logo too. I can't remember, but to me, it's saying that is in my situation. Now, this could be me sharing a DNA strand with the a company that was created. With something to do with being in that. Now, they didn't sold on up. They sold that one. And I think the people went over to waste management, or they turned it into waste management or something. But this would be a different story. I would imagine this is a different story, and I would imagine there's some interesting facts or points here, because the last thing I heard about Hoffa is they didn't know if he was dead or not, or whatever this is, or something like this. And it reminded me of a storyline through one of our readings that was like, somebody just go. You got to get out of here because of whatever reasons. Your kid will be all right, but just, run along. But I don't think they ever found a body or something like this. I don't know. I will have to go back and see if there's some updated information, but that's what I thought I heard. DNA factions, right? And then somebody gets a hold of the child, and they're like, well, if we raise this child, we can have energy, let's get rid of this person or whatever, and then we can keep the child. We can resource or source that energy, and we'll be fine or whatever. The child won't even know that we're doing it to them. So it's kind of like somebody having like an ultimatum or something like this. And like, well, there's more whatever, maybe even in the child, than having this person around. This is people that will work with you to a certain extent, and then get around you and then kick you off the board. Or you create a company, and then you got the resources or something, and then somebody try to scoot you out the board, or scoot you out of this sector. Okay. All right. So that was another. But it seems like there's something about with the two horses or the two stallions, that initially these men are going to end up, it's a manly job, it's a man's world, it's a man's field. They may end up, after going through this, or not knowing, or even be brainwashed, or even being sold out, or even being something, where a lot of these men may end up in same-sex relationships. Because if you was in a secret society and you kept the fact that you were gutting your wife and children, especially if you have girls, you a slime. The garbage juice in the back of that garbage truck, to the point where none of them, even your young daughters, if you trying to hurry up before mother wakes up and start paying attention and start speaking her story, they may even gut the children, and the children won't even be able. So this is another form of like genocide. Okay. Could be to cover up something that goes a little bit deeper when it comes to big corporations that's connected to people that might be connected to your family tree or your genetics or something like this. Okay? Somebody could have feared what that person could have been about to do, feel like, oh, the competition is like this, and then they took that person out the game so that waste management could then, and I was looking at the waste management, and it's doubles. Well, I don't know what really, I can't remember what it is, like yellow and green and something. V and whatever. It make me think about Virgo as well. But waste management, I was with those two W's I was seeing in my light bulb. It's a funny looking light bulb. It's clear and you can see these little lines in there. And when I was looking in the window, it looked like, and I was looking at it in the window, the reflection, it was like WW, like both W's was up. But with waste management, one W, no, it's WM. So even if that is a W, then it could be looked at as like a upside down W. I mean, yeah, yeah, okay. And I don't know. It's something about changing something. As above, so below. Even something dead and something alive, dead or alive. I don't know. I'm getting that because I was getting a lot of waste management things like go get a job at here at $35 an hour, blah 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 blah. And it's almost like, oh, it's coming up in my feed, but it's like, oh, so this telling me something like, yeah, you know, we're over you now. This could be another company. It's almost like Jesus being a part of Veolia, and then I don't know what the competition rate is or who's outranking who today, but it would be like I'm hearing John the Baptist saying, you know, when I say who couldn't latcheth, that Jesus was coming and he couldn't, somebody is coming that he can't latch at their boot, but somebody could have been secretly competing with a child and keeping a child brainwashed so that they can look like a big strong rich powerful man, you know what I'm saying, or entity, okay. And maybe even bullying, exploiting to ruin somebody all their whole life so that you could be saying that you outran this person. Now this could be with energy. This could be with, because they were talking about baptizing. Like, you're not supposed to be baptizing. Jesus baptizing. Is John the Baptist supposed to be baptizing? Right? But there's a lot of different mechanisms or a lot of different avenues or a lot of different, you know, ways we can look at this. The whole thing about that. Okay? Yeah. Okay, but I feel like something started from the inside or the core or the gut, something, some kind of way in the intestines of something. Okay, even if you look at Queen Elizabeth's crest, there is a belt in the middle with the music industry, and it's latches. Some coat of arms might have that same belt around it. These people have been latches throughout the centuries by whatever this entity is every time that this occurs or in these ritualistic ways or something, right? But the young lion is still standing at the top on the pedestal, okay? That's separate. That's set apart from what you're doing here, right? So that's why I say it may be a good thing. And those things is still within the royal crest. So the crest is, the royal energy does have something to do with those things. That's in the bosom of the crest. All right. But there is somebody else managing it or that has it had it under control. I feel like somebody passed away that had it latched and these people was crawling their way out or even funding, taking from the crown or something to fund to buy their freedom or something like this. It has something to do with all kind of things, but I'm trying to just explain it to you the best of the way that I could kind of do it on the fly. All right. Yeah. So we got the full card here. Like this, somebody's mask could be falling, something is bad off, or a trust fund or something like this, and the person was just paying attention to what you are and what you're said to get or something like this and try to outrun that before you can even hit the table. So this could be somebody that could have stopped somebody's growth at an early age and been playing around in their face for the past 20, 10, 15 years. You see what I'm saying? In order to like force an ending for a controlled demolition or to break something down. All right. But the good thing about that is if it could be looked at and on some other kind of level, what happens if somebody thought this was the end of a group or something like this, and it's actually the beginning because your ass didn't been caught and now the person at the top can just swoop down and gather up all them things and put it back in their name, and then these people can be back to the dust where they had to start all over, since you thought you was going to defeat God or the Son. Now imagine if these people are stalking or hounding or watching this child, they may have mixed feelings, or if you know how much I loved you, I was doing that until I met you, or I was taking out your family, then I met you and everything changed or something. But look, you were still trying to gather up all my shit. Even if this was somebody in a relationship type of situation, you was still not going to fill me in. You was going to gather up my shit, and then you was going to come back and what? Only offer it to me if I'm in a cahoots with you, or you know what I'm saying? Because why wouldn't you take me on the, if I'm this type of child, and why wouldn't you day one take me on the road? You understand? In this form. Because somebody could be acting like, well, no, you in spirit, you with me. Now I don't want to hear that shit. I don't get money in spirit. I don't get advancements and movement in spirit. I'm not being shamed and whatever in spirit. They doing it to me in this situation, right? So, you know, not that it bothers me, but it's not gonna end me. You know what I'm saying? So, but that could be kind of like the purpose. Like, how do I trust you? What I told y'all about 3 years ago, we did that reading, and I said it kind of that person or something. I don't know. Okay, but we got about it. In this day and age, nobody got time to be just trusting that somebody been going through the whole community knowing you the only one that didn't know, and then you just supposed to believe that this motherfucker is going to come back and hope. Like, I can't, the general's daughter, I don't know, it's called something. Okay, I don't want to lie about the title, but it was a general or something, and he was like, after this war, we can't be having people in our house, da 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 da. You know, I know you want to get out, but we just got to take our time. We got to, you know, we can't just be, you know, rushing in and stuff. She's like, but I met these two guys and they're in the military. And he was like, active. Sometimes I hate my family. You know, I can't. Decent folks, they're in the military and stuff like this. And she went to her room, and the whole family came up there, you know, weeping or whatever. And they were like, oh, and he was like, I guess, you know, the dad was like, I guess they can come. So they came to dinner or whatever. You know, she was telling her sister, oh, the other one he's handsome and da 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 da. And they came to dinner. They had a nice conversation or whatever. And then the girl started kind of, I guess they went for a late night walk in the you know, garden or whatever. And then they started talking, and I think the family owned a fabric store or something like this for dresses and stuff like this. And one day she was up in her room sleeping. I think he was throwing something at her window. Napoleon just had went to jail for something. And he was like, but do you have any money or whatever like this? I could use. And then she's like, oh, I do. I have this much money or something like this, because he made her a little promise, you know, a little promise that, you know, they was going to be together or something. And she gave him the money, and then he went off, and then she had to go find him. Like, girls came in her family. Oh, did you hear about the, you know, Napoleon or whatever? He's in town, and he's and, you know, he's over in France or over in like another neighboring place. And he was like, they're having a party or something. She's like, oh. And she goes home, and she's like, oh my goodness, I heard that he's and so she went and she went and got like a ride to go to this place to go see what's going on. But when she got there, she couldn't get in because you had to have somebody who's with you. And there was a man that was kind of intrigued by her beauty, and he was like, okay, you know what I'm saying, to my arm, you just only have to walk in there with me, we don't have to stay the whole time. And she's like, okay, you know. And come to find out, he was in there like they were like, everybody this room or whatever, and she's looking like, oh, what you doing here? And then the cousin, this was like a distant relative or a distant family friend or something, but he was to announce that him and this girl were about to get married. So this is what I'm thinking about, something like this, you know. And then she kind of like, you know, made a scene. I think she might have made a scene or whatever and ran out. Okay, it was like, I'm never talking to him again or whatever like this. Okay, so it could be something like somebody want to like make a woman that's very wise or wisdom herself look silly, but we're not in the 1500s or the 1800s or, you know, whatever. There's technology and shit today that people could use. There's brainwashing And it may not be to people that don't, but it may be heavily on the people that don't have money readily available. You could be from money all you want, but if somebody else is stealing it and taking all your stocks and shares and changing who owns it and stuff like this before they leave you, this could be also something like somebody already left the situation or left someone. All right? They were already playing with your shit or something like this, and you were not aware. That's the problem. It ain't like it said, babe, I need to put these companies in something so we could be on the same page and blah, blah, blah. That's not the case. Right? So this is giving the leeway. This is giving some group or something the leeway to operate on that level, and they feel like nobody can challenge this person or these people or something like this. Military family with that king, with that little Knight of Cups last night or whatever, that Knight of Cups and the Queen. You know, obviously what I was thinking, maybe it's just my situation, or there could be other situations that we were carrying on in this lifestyle. Is so much more we could have done if in this realm we knew who we were, or had an inkling about other shit in other realms or things like this. Could have had a fair chance, because obviously these people did, right? It was just a secret. It's just something you didn't know or something I didn't know, right? So there could also be somebody sending someone in to drink from the cup of the Queen and get some type of anointing on them or something like this. It changes them. And then guess what? They started on some kind of thing. These people could have been at $0 spiritually or something like this at that point, but you had old money, or I had old money tied to me. And now because of that, and I didn't get to exercise any of my rights during the whole thing, right? With my whole consciousness, now these people are in the top ranking of these families or something like this, and then there's a problem. There could be a battle on somebody's hands, right? Because then again, some of these people could be finding out that they not who they thought they was, and they people not who they thought they was, and blah blah blah. They thought they left you down low or on the below, and as above, it's the same damn thing, right? So again, there could be some full energy here. Oh, it's also too, like I said, the others, she is to be left behind. So it's like somebody's supposed to be like a unwanted child, not even like a motherless or fatherless child, but something that's just invisible, or something that's just it's like something that could be potent. This is the most prime part of the whole thing. When you're a little bit wiser, you're very other people that ain't even that rich are getting paid for this, or they're being sponsored in some type of way, and somebody want the top quality agents or entities to be floating around here, just being pecked at like by birds and stuff wherever you go, like not having a home, not having anywhere, a solid foundation, right? That is suffice for you. Because if you think about it, you could be more whatever, whether it's by design, by force, or this is natural. You may be somebody could take my, okay, say this, somebody took my sky eyes and gave it to an earthly person, and now they see the world in a whole nother light. Okay, I'm already kind of delivering that. A lot of other people are kind of, okay, because of the familial something. I'm not supposed to, it would be more, instead of just talking about this like how we're doing it on the low like this, okay, on this channel, it would totally degrade me, really, to go in and start pulling out names of these companies and shit like this. And because there's other people, I was just watching some girls here, and they were like, yeah, you know, we noticed that this AI company with names and stuff like this, and the owner of this was tied in with that, and da 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 da. That's for who I am. Motherfucker's supposed to do that for me. You know what I'm saying? Right? The soul energy, or the chosen one, or the golden one, or the one that God lit up in that manner, they're dealing with it on like on another level here, where we're picking up the feelings and something like this. People in my team or in my court are supposed to do that for me. this company and shit like this when I get an inkling. Like, you know, I'm dropping gems. You supposed to turn that shit into a battle or something once you realize what the fuck been going. That's not my job to do. You see what I'm saying? As an emperor, empress, or a king or a queen, that's not my job to do. It's almost like, and then they want to call those people the senior royals, but like, what the fuck is you? Are y'all fighting for anything? Like, I'm over here or I'm outside. What are you doing? Just it's bothersome. It's really showing the true colors of who is left running something by trying to make me look stupid. But I'm able to drop jewels that have people that work in those industries to pull up the information to go higher. But again, this could be a level, like I said, where somebody has like somebody has I'm hearing like the image of God. Somebody taken something that was natural to you, copyrighted it or something like this, or put a LLC or put something on it, and then they took that from you and gave it to another person. So somebody wants me to look at things at an earthly level, and somebody gave somebody else my sky blue eyes where I can see higher or something like this, right? Or yours, whoever can, you know, relate to this. It's the way that principalities and powers that shouldn't be would be up in some, but are they doing the best that they can, or are they just there to make sure that you don't, so something can then again collapse? Because when you get into this, if I got into the guts of this right now, it's going to expose everything you probably got over there calling the royal in the royal court. People would be wowed by the fact that something has not been working the whole country and nobody noticed or nobody was able to do anything about something being run the wrong way for over 20 something years. That somebody just been playing in your face, acting like they taking care of your nation, and they've been trying to break it down from the inside. The United States as well. And that it don't have nothing to do with is the core elements here and being plugged into the proper thing and having the right people in the right places at the right time doing what they're supposed to be doing. And then the growth comes from that. Like I told you, we've had rulers and emperors and shit at the age of 3. At the age of 12, 15, these people was getting married. 13, they was getting married and starting families as royals. So, and they had to learn and they had to do, and some of them ruled for a long time, and they with growth and with the support of the court and the parliament, or well, maybe not parliament really, okay? Because then we had to start scratching the bellies and looking at the underbellies of a lot of this shit that don't make no sense. And how did the ancients might have got convinced to have to cleave on to them and listen to what they have to say, but this is something new. But the fact that these people don't see you or me attached to whatever it is, whether it's a political arena or royals or some other big family or something like that. But again, it's going to play itself out in the way it's going to play. Because if God wanted to be, that's what it's going to be. If I wanted to be, that's what it's going to be in the end. So somebody could just be being like a performance animal, and they trying to put you down, and your true elements in your body is what the fuck it is. That I am what I said I am. And none of these people are. And you still putting on the Ritz or something, trying to act like it's the other way around. This is crazy. Okay? Somebody's like a performance monkey or something. Talking about, I'm a star. Oh, I'm a star. Well, if you a star, you that going that hard for star, then you should not be trying to be a royal at the same time. These people do, they spend a lot of money doing, a lot of time doing what they're doing, and you can't be both. You can't have two gods. You can't have two sources. You can't be trying to be a star and to be a royal. You just cannot. And somebody's like, why not? I can. You can't be I'm not trying to show offense, but to be honest with you, what do we see kings and queens in the past? They were allowing gestures and performers to come into their homes and perform for them. They're not putting them on a seat next to them on the motherfucking. They're not. They're looking for somebody else with a certain type of bloodline or genetics or something like this. Not saying that everything that they've done in the past was the right way, but it's more common sense than what this is now with this AI or this tech-generated royal family shit. This playhouse video game. I don't like whatever this is. I like the real thing, okay? So, you know, something like that. It may even, when you address situations, it might seem like you addressing it at a low frequency or remedial, or, oh, you're not fit for this type of, look at the way you talk or something. But I bet you more shit is moving when some of us are saying something, even with the cuss words, than it is when they've been sitting there for 20 years in the political arena, and the country is still going down the drain. Now, what the hell did with all of those I'm losing my train of thought so much right now. Achievements or whatever this is, or all of those, you know what I'm saying, okay? Years that you spent in college or something like this, and you wasn't able to move that mountain. All that money you got, and you say you cared about, but somebody convinced you to leave the one person that was down for you the whole time, that you actually crawled on the back of this person to get up and get in the helicopter as your wife. Somebody is fun. Think about that for a minute. These people cannot be thinking about the family dynamic or people in general. If you scratch the whole damn thing. If you running behind and supporting somebody that was doing some shit like that, and you might see this person dancing in the ballroom and doing all this stuff like, ooh, I like this person with this life. But you're not thinking about the fact that somebody raped and pillaged somebody almost to death, laid them on their stomach, and after this person was there with them, washing their dirty drawers, cooking their shit all night, taking care of them, doing all the things that you want these women to do. If women are looking at my story or somebody else's story that was good-ass women, we wasn't perfect. We might even had our own shit, on the side that was going on, but who didn't? Who is wanted? These girls is like, hell no, I gotta be about myself. They being ruthless. Because what the fuck would you do? You've been in this shit for 30 years or something like this, and the man seemed to be a perfect man. That's the thing too. The man, he didn't really, talk much. He seemed to be he worked and paid all the bills and everything. But this a motherfucker that could do something like this at the end of it. And these is the men that you following around? And these ain't just any women. These is daughters of God, or these are women that should have been respected in some type of way, right? You may not like the person, like their personality, how they deliver their messages or something like this, but there's nothing about this person screaming that you should be abusing them or doing something like this. Everybody is free to have their own opinion. Really? Because somebody's ego got hurt or something? Oh no. Yeah, this is crazy. Now, what I say is there is it's like they're not having the evaluation. Even with NASA, and we this. Well, you can't even I'm sitting here telling you who is who inside of who, and you don't. A bitch like me ain't on the team. When y'all was taking these people through the process, and they was fucking with NASA, then they was messing with the CIA and everything. You took these groups of kids from my neighborhood that didn't even have compared to what the fuck I am. And then you put them in these space programs and stuff like this. They don't know. The only reason why they know is because these are programs that they created. These are clones and stuff that they created of themselves through their program. That's the only way that they know. You mean they can't look at other people and see the same shit that I see? You get what I'm saying? So you let them try to put somebody on a leash or something. Any human. Doesn't even matter that somebody have lineage that's tied. Whatever this is that can relate. All right? So somebody's like performing or something like this, right? But there could be an ending to this. Because somebody's doing something with a skull here. Somebody might even have somebody's skull. They could have went to some country and did some kind of spell work here. This could be like skull and crossbones energy as well. Yeah, because crossbones, even though these like lungs or something, it kind of look like bones. Well, yeah, this look like bones here. Okay. Um. Hmm. And then we have the Five of Swords. This could be somebody that did this to the mother and the father. This could be this day energy. Okay. A female. It's something. Page of Cups energy in reverse. This could be this Natalie Nunn energy or somebody else here. Somebody could have thought that they was about to use a Page of Cups energy um and birth some type of exotica nation or something like this. Like something is built off of lust, and because it sells, sex sells, and everybody loves money. So, oh, if I come in and I try to turn God's house into a slut bag and slut out everything in the United States, it's going to be so much money coming in. Nobody going to think about the fact that we're just slutting the whole thing out. But it's in reverse. Second.